It's been a while since we talked about the drama that came out from the SWV and Xscape, the Queens of R&B reality show. Well, in a new interview with Kandi on her Speak On It, Tamika Scott is speaking out and revealing that she had to take out a restraining order against her brother-in-law and sister. We got to talk about what happened from that interview, and we also have to talk about the fallout from Sanya Richards-Ross's recent interview and the drama between her and Kandi. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So if you missed any of our recent stories, though I'm traveling, I have still posted quite a few TikToks, Reels, YouTube Shorts, and of course long form videos here on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of that. And as you can see, new city, who this? We'll talk more about that. If you're a member of the channel, you already get an inside of my travels, pictures that I don't share anywhere else. So shout out to our members that give us a monthly support. We appreciate you because you allow us to continue to elevate what we do and for me to enjoy trips like this. So thank you to our members. We appreciate you. Some of you have been members for a week, a month, or 2 years. Thank you. So let's get into this. First, I want to start off with the Sanya Richards-Ross interview that she did with our friends over at House of Aaron. So Sanya is responding to the backlash that she received from Kandi on Kandi Speak On It in regards to her dream cast. Rewinding back, you guys wanted Kandi to get activated? Well, she's about to get activated on her Speak On It, and she has all the smoke for Sanya, the fan. So Kandi released a trailer for her Speak On It that will come out after the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And you know, Sanya's been on a few different interviews and podcasts talking about Kandi and the state of the show this season.
Little clip of her doing the interview saying that she could see me off the show next season. Did you really say that?
And that's all I gotta say.
You see me off, but you don't see you off? Okay, boo-boo. She sees me off, and she sees, was it Kenyan? Yeah, she was trying to bring back people that she's been fans of on the show. You don't even know them people. You don't even know those people. You want to bring back these people that you ain't even met before, some of them. Hell no. I'm just really cracking up because, like, you are talking as a fan. And if we want to talk about what the fans have to say, then you might not want to be talking about who should be here. Because I seen what the fans be saying.
When we first reported on her Dreamcast and Kandi's response, I told you guys, look, you know I'm a straight shooter. Even though some of you want to believe that I'm paid by certain people.
Shut up! That is so stupid!
You're always going to say that. I'm not going to even argue against that at this point. At the amount of people that you think are paying me, oh my goodness, I'll be rich. But I said this back then because I'm a straight shooter and I will call Kandi out when I feel like it's necessary. And I said Kandi's response to Sanya Richards-Ross's dream cast, I don't feel it was warranted because I felt like they're asked this question all the time. It's not like she offered this information. But I know a lot of you also feel, well, first of all, she's doing it on Carlos King's podcast. You know how he is when it comes to Kandi. But also we see some of what's happening in this current season between Kandi and Sanya. And Kandi doesn't feel like Sanya's friendship to her is genuine. Here's the thing. That can be true. And I can see why Kandi probably gave her that fever. And maybe Kandi did overreact in that moment. Maybe she did because I don't feel like Sanya's response. Do I think her Dreamcast is trash? Yes, Sanya. Your Dreamcast was trash because you're bringing back Sheree and you're bringing back Marlo who bring nothing to the show. And I know I've seen all the comments. A lot of you say, oh, Sanya's boring. She brings nothing to the show. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm kind of here for this petty back and forth between Sanya and Kandi more than this imaginary beef between Marlo, Sheree, and Kandi. I'm here for the little back and forth between Sanya and Kandi because you know why? I believe that they could actually get over it. I can believe they can move on from this. I don't believe that this will be drawn out. I don't think that it will be an all-out war. Sidebar. Because you know I have to watch full things. I don't like to watch just the clips because context is everything. So I wanted to make sure I watched the entire interview with Sanya and House of Aaron. And apparently Sanya and Marlo are really like good friends outside of the show. Sanya, don't fall for it. So was Kandi and Marlo. Marlo hitches her wagon to whoever she can benefit from. If she did not hitch her wagon to you, then she would have only Sheree. So she, for me, is just trying to form an alliance. I don't believe that is 100% genuine, her friendship. I'm not saying that she doesn't like Sanya. Sanya, for me, outside of the show, I know some of you look, she's boring, but she's also, I think she's a likable person. I've liked her confessionals during the season. I can actually see Sanya, and I know this is going to be controversial and unpopular, but I don't care because this is my opinion. I can see Sanya coming back over a Sheree or a Marlo because I feel like Sanya can be a good housewife, and she is that girl. She is very successful in her own right. And I know some of you are like, I think a lot of the Bravo fans do not give these new housewives a chance. But like I said, I'm here for the petty drama happening between Sanya and Kandi over this whole Dreamcast situation because I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. But I'd much rather that than we are talking about someone's passing or bullets and biscuits. Okay, that bullet and biscuit Sheree commentary was funny. I'm sorry, it was funny. Just the commentary was funny, not the actual situation that is happening over there. So Sanya did this interview with House of Aaron, and she basically responded to Kandi's speak on it because after Sanya shared her Dreamcast.
When they're talking, but they want you to be so considerate of their feelings. So my thing is the easy answer to that question that I think that a lot of the girls have done that I was doing, keep the cast the same, right? Like that's the easy answer. Leave the cast the same. No problem. But then for you to actually make adjustments to the cast, of course, it's going to make somebody feel some kind of way. But I just don't go on Twitter and go on live and all that stuff to say, oh, well, you love me. I don't do that. So it's like, why is it okay when you do it? But when I do it, it's this, we got to speak on it. Like, you left me off your cast, right? You're saying that you're listening to the fans. They don't want me on the show. Cool. Well, when I'm asked who I want on the show, I'm not going to cater to your feelings if you're not catering to mine. So that's why I left off my cast. If you go back to her Shade Room interview and they asked her Dream 6, I wasn't in it. So I don't see any reason why I should be walking around saying you're in my Dream 6 if I wasn't in yours. You were in my fave until I wasn't in yours, sis.
Yikes.
So Sanya says that the only reason why she shared her Dreamcast the way that she did, well, no, I don't believe that's the reason, but she said, I didn't say anything when Kandi on the Shade Room interview listed her Dreamcast.
Personal opinions and experiences aside,
Yeah.
whose comeback would enhance the ATL cast more? Shake it up a little bit, make it a little, drama, ratings.
Okay.
Phaedra or Nene?
Nene.
Nene? Really? Over Phaedra?
Yeah.
If you had to put a girl group together of the housewives, there's a lot of them who, want to sing and, all of that stuff. Who would you choose to be in the girl group?
Ooh, well, definitely Drew. I feel like I love her voice, and I definitely feel like she's the songs that she's been doing lately are really good. Candace, for sure. So that's Drew, that's Candace, I guess, and me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. And then maybe Erica Jane.
Oh, I love Erica Jane.
Yeah.
Now, that definitely will add an added twist to it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, I had to be like, okay, let me go see this. Shout out to the Kandi fan pages because that's the only way I could find some of these interviews. So Kandi does give her dream girl group and her dream cast of some sort. I didn't take it as shade, as I said to you before, and in defense of Sanya. They're always asked this question. You guys ask me this question. It's a question that comes up. I don't take it seriously, not to the point of shading anyone or being mad at someone. Like I said, I feel like Kandi's response wasn't just about the Dreamcast. I think it was the interview with Carlos because, they have, let's say, beef and history and a serious situation going on over there. So I think it's some of that and also some of what has been playing out behind the scenes and her alliance with Marlo, Sanya's alliance with Marlo. So I think that's where some of that fever came I don't think that was necessarily warranted. However, a beef between Sanya and Kandi. Sanya, I like your commentary, your confessionals. However,
you're not ready for that fever.
Because no matter how much you guys want to say Candy's boring, when Kandi gets activated, and I'm not just talking about Kandi getting crunk or being like, huh, huh, huh. No, I'm talking about when Kandi is a shade assassin in her own right. Don't sleep us on as Tauruses. When you wake us up, you will get the fever. Anyways, so she says in this interview with House of Aaron, Sanya, that she doesn't understand why Kandi was so upset. She had given her dream cast, and I wasn't upset when she gave her dream cast. What a lot of you fans were saying, well, what Kandi said in the Shade Room interview wasn't her dream cast. They asked her a specific question about who would be your ideal girl group, blah, blah, blah. You can see the interview there. However, some are now saying, and I'm glad I waited to do this video, well, Sanya got the interview wrong. Sanya is basing it off another interview. I think it was a BET red carpet. It was some red carpet that Kandi was asked the same question that all the housewives are asked.
But who would be your dream cast to make a successful next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so I definitely would go with Portia, Kenya Moore. I wasn't mad at the Nene choice. I'm not mad at the Nene choice. Let me see. So Portia, Kenya, Nene, and I'm not mad at Kim Zolciak either, because she don't mind speaking up for herself
Or being tardy for the party.
Yeah, even if she wrong, she gonna speak up. So you got to have people who really are strong in their opinions and don't back down, you know? And, you know, and real over-the-top personalities sometimes really get you there. But I think our peacemaker could be Cynthia.
Cynthia coming back!
I'm saying as a peacemaker, because, you know, she's the good, you know, you got to have one person that you can cry on their shoulder.
Maybe Sanya was meaning that. I don't know. Again, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think that Sanya and Kandi can't get over these issues. I don't. I think that they can definitely get over these issues. But watching Sanya's response in that interview, I was like, okay, Sanya, she's not a pushover. And I can't wait to see this reunion. Word on the street, the reunion is going to film at the end of this month. I'm here for it. I'm here for the little beef between Kandi and Sanya. We shall see. You guys will tell me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Again, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it's not something that these two can get over. But I'm here for the reunion, for the back and forth, because that will be Sanya's real Sanya. If you're watching, and I know you are, hey girl, this is your Olympics. This you know how we talk about the Super Bowl? The reunion is a Super Bowl for the Housewives. This is your Olympics. Go for the gold. Read in between the lines. Read it. This is Judgment Day for you, Sanya. Just saying. So let's move on. Let's talk about Kandi's recent speak on it. So as you know, there wasn't a new episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta this past Sunday. A new episode will be happening this Sunday. So stay tuned for our review. The review might be a little late because I have plans. I'm going to see another city this weekend. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. If you remember, you will know. So, but the review will come. And maybe we'll go live. We'll see how the internet's working. So anyways, so to this. In Kandi's recent speak on it with Tamika Scott, and I have to tell you this, I think I said this the other day on Twitter. I miss talking about the SWV and Xscape Queens of R&B reality show. We had some of our best lives, our best videos during that time. And when I say best, it's not about views. I don't even know what those views were like. Just covering this, talking with you guys about this show, it's very rare that we have shows that we love on this level, at least currently. And we loved recapping the show. Yes, did it get a little dark with the whole family drama in the Scott's family? Yeah, it did get a little dark there. However, just revisiting this R&B group, the music, the history, the drama of bringing it together. So finally, Tamika lands on speak on it. They meant to try and get it done during the season. Sidebar, I would love a new season of this, but the family drama is so toxic. I love drama. However, not at the expense of people's mental health, not at the expense of a real family situation. But I'm not going to lie to you. I would love to see a season 2. You know you do too. Let me know in the comments section. I would love to see a season 2. So anyways, so on the Speak On It, there's a lot of stuff that we've already reported on and talked about. But what stood out to me was how LaTocha, and I don't know why I would believe lying LaTocha. I don't know why I would believe her, because she kept on saying and projecting basically that Tamika and the producers were the ones trying to make this family drama highlighted. However, according to Tamika, she said LaTocha told Tiny that, oh, I'm going to turn up on them. So all of what we were seeing about LaTocha really was a lie, even down to her dressing up. But we said this when we were watching these scenes with LaTocha and Edward Steelhands. What was she calling him? Edward Steelhands? I don't remember. Stealing Hands? I don't know. Anyway, so she says a lot of that, what we see, she said her sister LaTocha doesn't dress up like this. But we all felt like this was all very pre-produced scenes that they were giving us. Nothing was authentic. But based off of Tamika's Speak On It, it was very clear to us, very obvious to us at this point, that everything that we got from LaTocha Scott was false. It was fake and a lie. So all of what she was trying to switch up, that really awkward scene with the fifth member, her mama.
I am the fifth member. How about that?
All of that was playing out there. She says she didn't want that. She wanted to make up with her sister, LaTocha, before filming started. So this was their very first scene. And I noticed that Kandi and LaTocha, and I know everyone has varied opinions on social media, and as I've said before, the opinions on Twitter versus the opinions on YouTube, they vary so much. So they were basically reacting, and of course, there are a sector of folks that believe that Tamika putting family business on TV was disgusting. So they were responding to it, and I was like, wow, not our community. Our community, I felt like, got it, understood where Tamika was coming from, and that she had reached a point of no return with her family. But she literally calls it her lifesaver, her lifeline in the heated conversation that we saw. That's the reason why she brought up the $30,000. But as you know, if you've been watching our reports, and if you didn't watch any of our reports, honestly, for me, it's like surviving LaTocha Scott and her husband, Rocky. That whole series of recaps and reports is worth going back and rewatching so you can have a full context. I'm just giving you an overview of some of what happened in the Speak On It. So Tamika basically clears up and says that everything that LaTocha was saying in her interviews and making it seem like it was Mona Scott, it was Kandi, it was Tamika making things seem a certain way was actually a lie. It was actually what LaTocha was doing. She gave us all those fake outfits and dressed up things. She's like, yeah, my sister doesn't dress up like that, Tamika said to Kandi. And I was like, okay, I mean, look, I think a lot of people dress up when you're filming and things like that. But she was like, it was a complete transformation. So she talks about that. She does shout out to, if you haven't watched the Speak On It, it's worth watching. I listened to it like 3 times just to, traveling and things like that. So I've been listening to it. It's worth listening because shout out to Tamika. Tamika has a lot going on. Beautiful. Her effortlessly singing throughout this interview. I'm just like, this woman has an incredible voice. And I always said this in my mind. I didn't say it to you guys. She has an underrated voice in this group. I don't think people talk enough about her voice in this group. I think they're talking about it now. So she has her new song out with Method Man tonight. She also has her cookbook and spices. So shout out to Tamika. She really is coming into her own. And I am here for it. So she talks about that. She talks about the record deal. We talked about this too in a separate video where Tamika revealed when she dropped her receipts video that record deal. See, this is why I look at the whole drama with her family. Like, it's so toxic. It's so dark. I don't need a season 2 of that because I just feel like that's too real. Like, that's just too real. And it's not going to lead to any end result that is positive. At least I don't think so. But, look, there are miracles in the world. But that gospel album really was the gospel album that Tamika and LaTocha were supposed to do. According to Tamika, their manager at the time got them that deal. So she basically stole that deal from her sister. Not only did she steal $30,000 from her Now this makes us believe it. If you are on the fence on believing whether or not LaTocha and Rocky stole that $30,000, if you are on the fence, the fact that all of what we're seeing basically is just like lie after lie after lie. You also stole, allegedly, I'll say, this record deal. This is why the record went paper.
Hell no.
Like, it didn't do well. You can't, there's no way good is going to come to you with this as your foundation. Your foundation of lies, your house of cards are coming apart. And one of the things that they mentioned in this, Tiny said to LaTocha, you can have your record deal. She didn't want to tell them that she had this record deal, obviously because she stole it from her sister. She didn't want to tell them. But Tiny said to her, and we've said this, you can have both. You can have the solo career and the group. But she never wanted the group. The group was just to catapult her solo career. She's wanted that for 30 years, and it just never happened. LaTocha, if you watch this, it didn't happen because your intentions were negative. Your intentions were not pure. So they talk about that. They talk about the intimate tape. Again, Tamika, I will never understand, but that's just life. I'll never understand why you would give that intimate tape to your sister to hold. And I get it, it's your sister, but I don't understand why you would give it to her. That would be in a safe deposit box that I own and have control over. So at this point, do I believe that Rocky should be threatening you with that? Because he was sending allegedly threatening text messages, all kinds of things. And in interviews, and you saw the interview that he did with Tasha K, we knew what he was doing with that interview. He was trying to stir and misdirect and project away from what was going on with him and LaTocha. Because of those threats, Tamika reveals that she had to take a TRO, a temporary restraining order, right? Or TPO or something like that, a protective order against both her sister and brother-in-law because of these threats.
So I'm just gonna go and say it. I'm just gonna go and say it.
What?
I did a temporary TPO order on my sister and her husband because I was getting threats. I was getting text messages. He even said threats I felt live when he said I lied on him and you don't do that to me, or you got to deal with what comes with that. So I don't take certain things lightly. So I did a temporary TPO order and the judge granted it to me. Based on the evidence that I presented, I was granted the TPO order on.
And apparently a lot of you are mad at Tamika's husband because he is a bodyguard. Why are you not protecting your wife? I mean, I completely get it. Tamika talks about that as well. She's like, she doesn't want him to risk his life and career to go to jail over this situation. But if he has to protect her, he will. So I never felt that way about it. I'm not going to lie and say that I didn't think about, like, I wonder how he feels or what he's done to protect Tamika, because it feels as if this man, Rocky, is talking a lot, and maybe because he knows that this guy has a lot to lose, that's why he's talking. You know, he's not going to do anything unless he has to. I don't know. So they talk about what happened with the group. There's still drama happening. She's still not speaking to her sister. I honestly don't see them speaking unless LaTocha is out of this marriage. And she's been with this man for 30 years. She's not going to be out of it. And look, we also understand, yes, in our community especially, people like to say blood over everything. To a point. I'll say that. Blood to a point. Because once they pass a point where they're abusing you and it's toxic and it's affecting your mental and physical health, yeah, family or no, okay? I don't believe that. And we've talked about that multiple times here on multiple platforms. So they talk about that. They also talk about what's been going on with Rocky and the business of Xscape. So my questions about who owns the name of Xscape were also answered in this interview. So basically, LaTocha and Tamika own the name of Xscape, but Tamika paid for it. So technically, she really owns it, but not really. On paper, they both own it. Luckily, honestly. And apparently, Tiny and Kandi tried to do something, or Tiny's mom. You know, Tiny's mom is about her business. I appreciate that. She's about her business. That was part of the reason why they got those royalties, those performing royalties that allegedly Rocky stole. So they were trying to do it. I don't believe there's an expiration date, and if there is an expiration date, because that's what Kandi was assuming, that it expired, and that's why they're not involved. However, Tamika said to LaTocha, we need to put Kandi and Tiny back on this as well as we come together as a group. But LaTocha obviously did not want that to happen. Did not want it to happen. I wonder how that will affect things in the future. Don't forget, they are still trying to make a movie about the Xscape story, which I think would be a blockbuster for them. Not necessarily a movie in theaters, but definitely a movie like we've seen on maybe a BET Plus or not Bravo. I feel like this needs to go to the right platform. What platform do you guys want to see this on? Maybe even Peacock, because I feel like Peacock is the better platform in regards to, yes, I understand it's owned by NBC Universal that owns Bravo and things like that. I just feel like it should go to a streaming platform because that's the wave of the future. But I also feel like it needs to go to a platform where a lot of people that look like us will be watching it and have access to it. So I'm thinking more like a BET Plus, but I'm actually thinking more like a Peacock because I believe, I'm not sure of the numbers, there's a larger platform there, and they already have a relationship with Bravo, NBC Universal. But this is going to be an interesting thing because how will this play out in regards to rights and so, but they're having issues putting this whole movie situation together. So I've been asking and wondering what's going on with the group. They haven't changed their name. Is LaTocha going to join them on any date? She has not, despite saying in interviews while she was promoting this failed gospel album that she didn't want to work with this promoter. But they've been doing multiple shows, and they talked about this on the Speak On It. They've done multiple shows where I don't believe the promoter did all those shows. I think she just, how do you move forward? How do you move forward? And the group doesn't trust Rocky. The group does not want Rocky in their business. They talk about that as well when it was just Xscape 3 and Kandi wasn't in it, and how Kandi was brought in later. And Kandi was pissed about how she was brought in later, and she didn't realize the whole text message exchange in regards to, oh, LaTocha will convince Kandi to, be a part, and like they were dumb and they will follow her. A lot of shady stuff. They also talk about how they would each get commission depending on who brought what in. And they wanted to kind of get rid of that because Rocky, again, wouldn't allow that to happen. So if Tiny brought something in, or if Kandi brought something in, he's like, oh no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. But if he brought something in, he was getting commission for that, and he was getting side money, allegedly. So I get it why the group right now doesn't want to work with LaTocha, because that means that they would have to work with Rocky. And I feel as if LaTocha, although she's not hurting now, eventually that money is going to dry up. That money is going to dry up. I don't know how, first of all, for them to be stealing money, allegedly, the way that they've been doing, it says to me the money is a little funny. Even though they made millions from that Xscape tour, The Great Escape. I don't know, but ain't no good gonna come to you when you lie and cheat and steal. That money's gonna run dry because you have a lack-minded consciousness. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Guys, I want to know your thoughts. Your thoughts on the Sanya Richards-Ross interview. Your thoughts on that. And what Kandi said in previous interviews in regards to that. Are you here for this beef? Are you excited for this beef? I want to also know your thoughts on the Speak On It with Tamika Scott. All of my sources will be cited in the description. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. Shout out to all of you that have been sending love and support and just well wishes on my travels. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to enjoy this beautiful rainy day here. Not going to tell you where. Members, you'll know. I'm going to enjoy this rainy day. Getting caught up on some Netflix. Getting caught up on some work as well. As you can see, I'm working. Got to edit this and then put this out. So let's continue this conversation there. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll ask you. Follow my lead, just watch the shoe.